Yeah, so this is actually one of the most extraordinary photos I've ever taken. It was on a attempted poaching site. So the elephant that you see here, I think probably around 30 minutes or an hour before this image was taken, the elephant was actually still alive. It was a big mother elephant who had been shot multiple times. And we received the call inside Lewa Conservancy that an elephant had been shot. So anytime it's an elephant or a rhino, those are the two really big important species. The government body called the Kenya Wildlife Service responds. They have to respond because it's such a high level event. And so the guys that you see in this photo, they're actually members of the Kenya Wildlife Service. So it's basically a government police specifically for wildlife. So elephants and rhinos and anything else, but mainly elephants and rhinos. And so their job becomes, as a rapid response team, to immediately deploy and respond to wherever an incident was reported. And then, sometimes that means finding poachers in the act and it ends up in a shootout, or, sometimes you arrive too late. And in this case, the elephant was actually still alive. We're not sure why, but whoever shot it just didn't have a chance to remove the tusks. And so we kind of intercepted this thing. And unfortunately, the vet who was with us, it's my dear friend, his name is Matthew Mutinda. He examined this elephant, and unfortunately, it was beyond saving. And right when we were about to put it down, she actually expired on her own. So, yeah, I think she was actually shot the night before this image was taken. So she must have been writhing throughout the whole night, trying to get up. I remember she carved these deep kind of carvings into the dust all around that area just throughout the night as she was struggling to get up. But actually, the most tragic thing about this case was that this elephant actually had a young baby that was eaten by hyenas the night before because she wasn't able to protect it.
Yeah.
So she actually outlived her baby in the morning, which is just horrific to think about.
Yeah.
But yeah. Sorry.
Is the guy on the right there with the axe in his hand, I'm guessing he's taking the tusks off so that poachers don't get them after the fact?
That's exactly what's happening. So these guys are, like I said, the KWS, the Kenya Wildlife Service. They come in, they must remove the tusks. And after this cleanup, they go to a government facility, like a high security government facility, where they're collected, essentially.
Yeah. And is the elephant left there again to, I guess, because she's already dead, is it left to feed their whatever other animals might be in the area?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a massive that there's no way you would, take it away. So you just, once the tusks are removed and put into this facility to keep them off the black market, you just leave the meat. And then in a few days, it'll be gone. All the other wildlife come in and do the cleanup work.
What, when you're going and doing this, are you using the same camera setup? And if so, like, what are you using to shoot these?
Well, this was back in 2014, 2015. So my setup at the time was, I remember I actually was shooting on one of the first Red Dragons, which was mind-blowing. I just couldn't believe the resolution of those cameras. And sorry, just to clarify, when I took this photo, I was actually filming my TV documentary series.
Okay.
So there's a whole scene of this actual event in the series. This was just a photograph that I also took. It was my Nikon D3S at the time.
Okay.
So that's what I was shooting for the images.
Awesome.
But for the film part, I was shooting on the Red Dragon.
Nice. This image here, is this from the same event?
This is from the same event, yeah. This is also one of the most amazing images I've ever taken because I think it just visually represents what it was like from my point of view. You know, you have those Western shoes
Mm.
in an obviously wild setting with this otherworldly object that you kind of realize is the trunk of this elephant, which is in itself an animal from another planet. So I think for me, this image always represented kind of the Western world bearing witness to the horrors that happen in conservation. That's what this has always represented for me, is kind of, you know, bearing witness to what's really happening. And it's kind of like a wake up call, you know, the image is centered and it's just right in your face. You know, there's no bullshit around this photo. This is happening every day in Africa. And so I just think it just makes you ask so many questions, and it's kind of like a light bulb going off of like, oh, we should probably take notice of what's happening right underneath our feet. And so, yeah, that's why I really like that photo.